Hey everybody, Mark from Northeast Pastures. How you doing? One of my subscribers, Matt, mentioned to me in the comments about showing some of the chatterbait trailers that I like. And for chatterbait trailers and even spinnerbait trailers, I keep it pretty simple. I pretty much use a grub probably 80 or 90% of the time. Any chatterbait you want to choose, let's see, just take one of these jackhammers out of here. But just a simple jackhammer. Most of the time, I'm going to probably use, now this is a box of grubs, assorted different grubs here. I also like the Power Team Lures grub a lot, but a lot of these are Kalen's grubs. 4-inch grub, maybe a 5-incher, but most of the time a 4-inch grub is the perfect length. And I just kind of go through different colors that I think are kind of like natural colors, but I just like that. I like that curly-tailed grub because it just gives it a nice action. But anything like this is a good choice. I think these are all, yeah, it's a Kalen's. It says it on the table. That one looks a little smaller. That might be a 4-incher. The other ones might be 5, but whatever. Anything that gives that bait some nice, you know, little flash, little action, I think works good. There are other options, but most of the times I'm just using a grub. But I will show you some of the other things I do use sometimes. I'm not a big swim bait guy. Like here's like a tech bait swim bait. I'm not a big swim bait guy for a chatterbait. This blade makes a nice vibration, and I don't want to do anything back here that's going to mess that up. So I don't know if I want, you know, a vibration back here from a tail, from a boot tail, and the vibration up here. It just might blow out my chatterbait sometimes. So I tend to stay away from swim baits. I may try it sometimes just to do something different, but I don't really like that boot tail on there for a chatterbait. That's just my personal preference. There are some guys, I'm sure, and I've seen them, you know, rigged up, that probably love it. Me, I'm not a big fan of it, but if you like it and it works for you, you know, use it. A popular bait is the Zako from Yamamoto, which I'm kind of in the middle of the road with. They do have some awesome colors. It does have a little side-to-side action in the water, but to me, I think the grub is better. I have caught fish with the Zako on there. If you've ever seen one before, that's what it looks like out of the pack. And you can just see, now this actually would match this one very well. The Zako and this I think this is actually a skirt I put on. I think the other skirt I have in there got destroyed, so I replaced it with a, you know, a chartreuse and white, clear, you know, color skirt. But you can just cinch that on there. Obviously I've had this one on because it already seems like it has a hole in it. Just make sure you do it straight. So I can find the hole there. But that's, I mean, if you guys like that Zako, you know, go for it. Keep using it if you're catching fish with it. As the dogs wrestle on the floor, if you can hear that. That's a fine option if you like it. And like I said, they have lots of cool colors. But a lot of these packs, you can see it's rubbed off. So, you know, that's a white chartreuse. I don't know what you would call that. Maybe a brown and a chartreuse. I don't know what these colors are called anymore because it seems like they're all totally rubbed off. Like a black and chartreuse. I always like this one. That orange, brown flake one. But I can't. Oh, rainbow shad. I can read that one. Rainbow shad. I got one that's not totally rubbed off. And this is a popular trailer. I do use it sometimes just to switch things up. But it does look good on there. It does have a nice action. It doesn't, I don't think, interfere with any of the vibration from your chatterbait. Let's see, what else we got here? So that's one option, the Zako from Yamamoto. If you guys like it, use it. Another one I use probably the second most amount of time is the Rage Menace. And I tend to use this white one. As you can see, there's a few out of the pack. I tend to use that white one. I mean, my colors that I use for trailers are pretty basic. Whites and chartreuses, or a combination of either. Green pumpkins. But for you guys who've ever seen the Metinus, I just popped those legs apart. You can rig it two ways. So let me take the Zaco off here. Some guys will just rig it normally, just straight on. Some people will rig it like that, so you get those tails flapping. Some people will rig it horizontally. I've tried it both ways. Either way is fine, whatever you like better. But that would be like if you took it sideways here and rigged it that way to get more of that side-to-side action. Of course, this one's all kind of beat up now because I've had it on here a few times. Or you could put it that way. See how it's kind of sideways there. That's another good option. The Strike King 4-inch Rage Menace. They do make a baby one. I tend to like the bigger one here. Nice 4-inch bait. But that's always a good option for your chatterbait. And I kind of keep, you know, these green pumpkin colors. I don't know what that one is. Green pumpkin, purple gold is a nice one. I like this one. That smoky shad is a good one. You know, I took a bunch off the shelf here. Just a good old watermelon. Maybe put a little chartreuse on there. This red one I've done well with, a Delta Red. Something different. The KVD Magic is a nice one. The bluegill color. All good options. You know, if you got a color you like. This one I use a lot, this Glacier color. But that's a good option for you. If you guys like, you know, those swim baits, these 6 Sense Divine swim baits. I think that's the, I forget what's that, a 3.8, 3.2. That's not a bad one. It's a little stiffer swim bait. It's not really soft, so it's a smaller boot tail. So that's not a bad option. Like I said, I don't use the swim bait trailers a lot for my chatterbaits because I do so well with the grub on there, and it's easy. But there's lots of options. So here's some more Zacos. A couple more colors I had here on the table. Black and blue. So more of the Zacos. And what did I take out? Just some grubs. Now I showed you guys my grub box. Usually I don't take that whole box with me. Sometimes I do. I'll just throw a few bags in the boat. This is like an old Gander Mountain. But simple chartreuse. You really can't go wrong with. You really just can't go wrong with that as your chatterbait trailer. The one I used for years, used the most on my spinnerbaits and on my chatterbaits, is this simple little chartreuse grub that I bought years and years ago at the Suffering, New York Outdoor Show, which I don't even know if they've had it the last few years since COVID came, but there's a booth, the Worm Barn, and you just go and just take as many as you want. You throw them in a bag, they weigh it, and then they charge you how much ever it is per pound. And I bought a ton of these chartreuse grubs from there years ago, and I'm starting to run out of them. I have a few somewhere else, but I've used them for trailers for so many years, and so many different, you know, chatterbaits and spinnerbaits that I'm getting low on them. But any, you know, the Kalins ones are fine too. These Gander Mountain ones are fine. Here's some Kalins that I have out of the box. That white I use quite a bit. That chartreuse salt and pepper I like. And I think these are 5 inchers. So I guess I tend to use the 5-inch one the more. The smoky is a good color because that kind of really looks like almost like a fish tail kind of, with that smoke color. So if you want to really imitate the tail of a fish, of a bait fish or any kind of fish, the smoke is a good option there. Even last year I used this motor oil on this with the red flake in it. Put a little chartreuse on the tail. You always use black if the water's dirty and you're throwing the darker spinnerbait. But that's my go-to, is a grub. And just take this Rage Bug off here. This Rage Menace off here. And I'll just grab any old grub out of my box of a million grubs here. But I like this one a lot. This chartreuse with that flake in there, and that would match perfectly with this this chatterbait. And just cinch it on. And they have and the chatterbaits. I mean, this is a jackhammer, so they have that little bait keeper, which makes it easy to keep your soft plastic on there. Just cinch it on there. Try and keep it straight as you can. I don't really worry much about tail up or tail down. But just cinch that down so it's nice and straight. And to me, that is the simplest and the best looking action I get personally from a chatterbait right there. That 5-inch grub, you can use a 4-inch grub. Right there, to me, that works the best. It looks great in the water. It's not going to interfere with any of the vibration from my blade. I don't have that boot tail back there that might be, you know, getting blown out from the chatterbait too. So I kind of keep those things apart. There are guys, I'm sure, that will tell you they love a boot tail swim bait as a trailer. Me, this is the way to go for me. This works best for me right here. Or even no trailer. Sometimes no trailer is better, I think. But most of the time I've just got some kind of a grub on there. If there's any other kinds in this bottom here. Because this is I think, yeah, this is an older plain old box. I don't know if they make these anymore, but I liked it. It was like 2 sections. Let's see what's on that bottom section before I finish up here. If there's anything else I want to show you. Here's some of those. These are the ones from the worm barn, but the white ones I still have. Some of the white ones. I know I've got somewhere I've got some other grubs that I had on the boat last time I was out. But any of these, you know, colors. These are all, Kalin's is nice. They put their name right on their tail so you know it's a Kalin's. That's a good one right there too. So any of these are fine. Any of these are fine. But that's it, guys. So if you're looking for spinnerbait, chatterbait options, try a grub. Try a grub. If you guys like this video, if you want me to do one specifically for spinnerbaits, I can do that video too. But I'll just keep this one a little shorter by just talking about chatterbaits. And if you want to match your colors, you can. This one happens to match perfectly. If I have a white, or if I have a chartreuse of some kind, or a green pumpkin, that's really, I think, all I need. If you had, you know, a couple of chatterbaits on your boat and a couple of bags of Kalin's grubs or whatever grub you like to use in a 4-inch or 5-inch size, you can fish all day. And I don't think you really need much else. But that's it. I'm not even going to take that off. I'm going to leave that on there for next season for when I'm throwing a chatterbait, because it looks too nice. There's no sense of taking it off. Put it in the box here. I just kind of redid my chatterbait box, and I know if I do this, it's going to probably dump out, and I'm going to make a mess. So I redid it with the ones I use the most. It has my Z-Man, my jackhammers, my Z-Mans, some of my custom ones, some of my Picassos, the hair on there where the water's really cold, some of my flirt skirts, my elites. So a little bit of everything. Some different customs, some Picassos, Z-Man. So those are my kind of my best ones. Put them all in one box. I had so many chatterbaits in one box and 2 boxes, so I kind of narrowed it down to one box with the ones I tend to use the most, and any new ones I may have gotten, you know, since the season ended. But that's it. So you've got options with the Zako. You've got options with the Rage Menace. Me personally, what I like to use, what works best for me, is just a grub. Try a 5-inch Kalin's or a 4-inch Kalin's or whatever grub you like with that curly tail on it. Try that as your chatterbait trailer, your spinnerbait trailer, and see how it goes. But like I said, if you guys want me to do a video like this just on spinnerbaits and how I set it up with the trailer and a trailer hook, that still works. I can do that too. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon on YouTube. Mark out.